Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Seddon Fields in Westmere for today's National Women's League Round 13 clash between Western Springs and Central Football. A big day for Western Springs. Victory would seal themselves a place in the grand final against runaway leaders Eastern Suburbs. Central Football have just bounced back from their first victory of the season. What sort of resistance can they put up today? This is how the fixtures line up for us this weekend. Of course, our match, Western Springs against Central Football. Northern Rovers, a big game for them against Canterbury United. They must win to keep the pressure on Springs. And then tomorrow, two games. Southern United against Eastern Suburbs and Auckland United against Capital Federation. Here's how the league table looks. Western Springs with a 5-point buffer between themselves and Rovers. Victory over Central Football, who sit 8th in the table, will take them away from Rovers with one game to spare, but lose, and a victory for Rovers over Canterbury, and we go to the final day of the league season. Well, Central Football picked up their first victory of the season against Southern United, 2-1. Tessa Highland and Isla Cleel-Harding scored the goals, but today coach Matt Calvert has a number of issues for himself to solve. Sophie Campbell comes in, Lara Smith and Olivia Stewart and Mila Green replacing Annie Foote, Isla Cleel-Harding, Jana Niedermeyer and Holly Kleinsman. There are only two players on the bench for Calvert to choose from, so it could be a tough afternoon for the visitors. For Western Springs, the changes are rather less dramatic. Angelique Tui-Samoa is replaced by Keely Taylor. Lara Kolpe and Sophia Dyer both drop to the bench and are replaced by Jess Innes and Celia Mayo. Innes has scored 5 goals this season and is a welcome addition to a side that will line up in a 4-3-3 formation for coach Ryan Faithfull. The referee today is Beth Rattray, who last handled a game between Northern Rovers and Central Football on the 19th of November. It was a 4-0 win for Northern, so she has some familiarity with Central. And the ARs are Jack Henderson and Charlie Singh, and the fourth official is Will Roberts.
Today at Four Springs, we've got a couple of very special announcements coming out. Our Japanese players, Arisa Takeda and Rina Harano, they will be leaving us to head back to Japan, to Australia, hoping to push on to Australia. And Emma Peinenberg, who has signed the contract with Feyenoord, will also be departing at the end. So really pleased to have those two on the pitch today for the last home game. Congratulations, girls, and thanks for everything you've done for Springs. The rest of the team, number 1, Keely Taylor.
Well, that was a very poignant moment for Western Springs, with the two Japanese players heading back to Australia, Rina Harano and Arisa Takeda, and Emma Peinenberg picking up an opportunity abroad. The final game for these players, and should they reach the grand final, that will be something for Ryan Faithfull to consider. If we look at the contribution of Rina Harano, she scored 6 goals for Western Springs. Peinenberg has chimed in with 4. So players that have made a major impact departing the club, further weakening their prospects of picking up the National League Championship title for women's football, domestic women's football for 2022. But first they've got to get there. It's a very important mission that is set before the Green and Whites. If things were to go against them, if they were to lose and Northern Rovers were to pick up 3 points across town, that game kicks off at 1:30, by the way, against Canterbury United. Springs would have a 2-point lead going into the final round. And the last round of action would see Springs playing Eastern Suburbs away. Northern Rovers would host Southern United. So Springs would play 24 hours before Northern Rovers took on Southern United as well. So Northern Rovers would know what they would have to do. A defeat against Suburbs and victory for Rovers today and next week, and Rovers would leapfrog them into the final.
Good luck, everybody. We hope you enjoyed today's game.
If in the event these teams end up level on points, and we should note that in the league table, goals for and goals against is very, very similar. 36 to 18 for Western Springs, 37 to 19 for Northern Rovers. We'd be looking at tiebreakers that involve greatest number of points, the goal difference, which, as I said, is almost identical, just one goal in it. And it would come down to greatest number of goals scored, and then the head-to-head record, which is very much in favour of Western Springs. They defeated Northern Rovers on the 21st of October by 4 goals to 1. So, a lot to absorb, a lot to take in, but it really is much more simple than that. Western Springs pick up a win. They don't need to worry about any of the philosophy and the mathematics and any algorithms. It will just be an advantage on the points table that Rovers will be unable to match. Here's Lily Jervis. Played into Sam Tafaru. That's a good ball by Tafaru. She keeps a run going. And Central Football have conceded a corner. It's been an interesting end to the season, although they've accrued just the 3 points from 12 games. They have upped the number of goals they've scored. I think it's 11 in their past 8 matches. It's keeping the goals out that has obviously been the problem for Central. Springs with the corner into just in front of the goalkeeper. Goal kick taken quickly. Here's another look at that ball swung in. There's nobody from Western Springs really threatening there. Thrown to be taken by Rebecca Trevitt. A good long throw on it. First encounter there was won by Western Springs, and first touch of the ball for Keely Taylor. Rolled out to Jervis. Nice take by Hirano, looking for options in front of it. Plays it conservatively to Lily Taitimu. Tafaru. It's a good move this by Western Springs. Here's Hirano, who started the move a couple of seconds ago, and a ball into the box, and first shot is stopped by the goalkeeper, Sophie Campbell. Very good move by Western Springs, who are dominating the midfield in the early exchanges. Georgie Fennell. That's a good pass. Excellent pass. Mila Green giving chase for Central. And that's very cleverly marshalled out. Jervis. Takeda. Springs connecting very well. Well, Central Football had a very similar start to their game against Northern Rovers at McFetridge Park a couple of weeks ago. They have a very good structure and clear idea of how they want to play, but it really fell apart very quickly for them after they conceded the first goal. Their problem seemed to be playing a ball from middle to front and penetrating the defensive line of their opponents. And once that had set in, then Northern Rovers really could have their way with Central Football in terms of chance creation and converting those chances into goals. But Central Football are looking pretty busy here. That's a good pass. can't quite keep up with it. But there is a threat developing down this right-hand side. Central have been strong in this area throughout the season. Takeda. Hirano to her compatriots. Taitimu. Ulavili. Bounced into midfield for Jess Innes. This is good from Western Springs. Ulavili breaks the line, helped on by Innes. Ulavili stays forward. Taitimu. Jervis. Good ball into the channel for Tafaru. This has got some promise here for Western Springs. Ball into the far post. It's hooked back by Garcia. No takers on the edge of the penalty area, and Central Football survived the moment. Senior did well. A chance now for Springs to take the lead. Good block. That was Lara Smith stepping in for Central Football. Miller Green dispossessed by Jess Innes. Western Springs have a grip on this game. Taitimu, Jervis. Ulavili once more. Show an inside channel to Innes, who's in a good position here if she wants to shoot. And that's a very unselfish pass for Tafaru, and she's given it back to Garcia. Couldn't get the ball out of her feet. Central Football survive another scare inside the 6-yard box. Goodness me, the marking here was not very good by Central. Sam Tafaru had cruised through totally unchallenged, and Sophia Garcia, who's scored a very impressive 9 goals this season, couldn't make it 10. Central Football will have to tighten up. They need to communicate to each other across that back line. If you think back to what happened, Jess Innes got into a great position and tempted the centre half to come off the edge of the 18-yard box. Of course, that created the opportunity to slip the ball through to Sam Tafaru. Tafaru might have taken a shot, given how much time and space she had. Here's another look at it in fast motion. But you can see there the centre half had just decided to come out to try and deal with it. It was Tessa Highland, scorer of the winning goal against Southern United. Akida, Jervis. Pumps one into the far post for Tafaru, and she didn't expect it to clear Rebecca Treffert. Caught her by surprise on the other side. Very good option by the Western Springs skipper, and the touch couldn't match the quality of the delivery, unfortunately, for Springs. Nice header by Garcia. It's very well intercepted by Central, but they can't retain possession. It's with Innes and Ulavili. Taylor. Jervis looks to go long. That's straight to Central Football, who look to come forward now through Pip Coakley. Ball's broken kindly for Hirano. Now Innes. Garcia's made a run in behind. Treffert goes to deal with her, but it's gone all the way through to Sophie Campbell. It's been a very impressive season from Sophie Garcia. She started off with a hat-trick against Southern United back on the 18th of September and has been a consistent goal scorer in the last 3 games. She's managed 5, in fact. 5 goals in 5 games. There were 2 braces against Auckland United and Canterbury United in recent weeks. Innes. Played Pinenberg. Now Jervis again, who goes straight to Sam Tafaru. No foul, says Beth Rattray. Akita to Jervis. Jay Ulivili finds Innes. Celia Mayo's made a run down the left. Garcia's joined in to give her some assistance. Very good work from Western Springs. They're looking in the mood for the task in front of them. Here's Taitimu. Spots a run in behind the fullback. That's a decent pass for Akita, but she can't keep it in. Central Football were in all sorts of trouble. Akita acknowledges the quality of the pass. Great vision this from Taitimu. Look at the way she found the gap between Pip Coakley and Olivia Stewart. Mila Green. Georgie Fernell worked very hard to break forward, and it's something that Central Football have struggled with in transition from middle to front, as I said. Here's Rebecca Trevitt, and now Fernell. I think the flag's gone up for offside against Fernell. Akita, good pressure from Central, trying to press Western Springs further into their own territory, but Akita's flung the ball out to Ulivili. Now Innes has got lots of space in midfield to exploit, tries to pick out Garcia's run. But Central Football had a lot of numbers, and now Pinenberg. Good turn. Pinenberg shaping to shoot, but it's well off target. It's a lovely touch. Ball into the 6-yard box, and it's cleared by Trevitt. Danger not over for Central Football. They're being pushed deeper and deeper into their own penalty box. Here's Innes. And that's the first goal. 14 minutes in, Jess Innes. Her 6th goal of the season. And Western Springs have the perfect start to this game. Wonderful play from Jess Innes, taking on the Central defence and then pulling the shot right across Sophie Campbell into the far corner. And as things stand, Western Springs would be on 29 points, 8 clear of third place Northern Rovers. And kick off in roughly 1 hour 15 minutes from now. Here's Garcia. She's blocked by Trevitt. Trevitt still going. It's a lovely pass out to Mila Green. Takes on Mai. That's a decent ball into the box. Well blocked by the Western Springs defence. I think that's Jervis, who stepped in just at the right moment to release Garcia. Tafaru, lovely touch by Tafaru. Garcia running at the Central defence, they're backing off, and there's the shot, it's blocked by Lara Smith. But the pressure's not over yet. Western Springs are buoyed by the goal they've already scored, and they're very, very eager to add to it. Peinenberg for Taitimu. Innes. Taitimu's got an option there, but she almost emailed that to Pip Coakley. Here's Serrano with some lovely footwork into the penalty box. There's a cutback. Garcia tried to go with the instep of the right foot and was blocked by McKenna Chittenden. Great run this. There's the cutback. And Chittenden nice and tight against Sophie Garcia, preventing her from getting a clean shot away. Well, today is Western Springs' 35th game of the season. They had one in the Kate Shepherd Cup, which they were beaten in against Northern Rovers. And, of course, 21 games in Northern League, where they finished runners-up to Northern Rovers. And they look as though they're going to finish runners-up in the Women's National League. So it's been a very long campaign, and as you can see, losing 3 players that the team that they started the season with is definitely not going to be the one that they finish up. And that was not bad from Celia Mayo under pressure. Sophia Garcia made a very intelligent run into the 6-yard box. Sophie Campbell, that's brave goalkeeping. Great ball by Tafaru. Fantastic run, and the cutback was very intelligently thought through, and the delivery was excellent. Sophia Garcia almost getting on the end of it. Garcia receives the ball, turns, plays Innes. On her left foot, that's a good cross, and that's a good save. Wonderful save by Sophie Campbell. Danger not over. Oh, and she's kept it out, has she? I think she has. Great goalkeeping. Campbell called into action. Goodness me, that was great football. And it all started from Garcia's ball into Innes. Look at the quality on this cross. And look at the quality of the header by Tafaru. Great save by Campbell. Smith is in there, and, oh, well, it wasn't quite Germany versus Japan, but it had its merits, didn't it? And a shot for Central Football. Meanwhile, at the other end, Tafaru holds play up. Innes into Garcia. Well, Sophie Campbell, 2 great saves to keep Central Football in this game. This is Trevitt from distance. Oh, with a go. Keely Taylor had it covered, and if you don't have a ticket in the lottery, you don't find out, do you? And Central can thank the goalkeeper that they're still in this game. Just 1 goal separating these sides. It's been a busy week in world football, hasn't it, for discussions about the curvature of the football, the laws of the game, line calls. That was certainly a line call. But you have to say that referee Beth Rattray was in a very good position to make the decision. Now, was that ball out? No. Play continues. Seems the topic won't go away. Here's Innes. Popped over to the far post. Akita. Hirano. 2 Japanese players combining, and that's good defending by Lara Smith. Taitimu's ball is overhit. Good ball forward for Lily Dowsing. Haven't seen too much of her so far. There's one goal to her credit this season for Central Football. It's cleverly done by Campbell again. Central coming forward now. Here's Rebecca Trevitt. Good run, just didn't have the quality to find Dowsing, who had made a good run into the penalty box. Ulavili. Now Jervis brings the ball forward. There's little pockets of space in midfield that Western Springs are finding on regular occasions as Tafaru plays a ball through for Harano, who fancies a shot herself. And why not? One of the players who's departing the scene at Seddon Fields caps off her final appearance with a goal.
The second goal,
22 minutes gone and Western Springs looking comfortable already. Great run forward. Touch with the left foot, set up the shot with the right. And there was very little that Sophie Campbell could do about that.
79th appearance for Western Springs today. An absolutely amazing goal already.
Well, it's a very long way back for Central Football now, and I think even before a ball is kicked at McFettridge Park, there must be a sense now that there's some inevitability about Springs making it into the grand final as Campbell's called into action again. Headed by Ulavili. Fennell. Green combining well with Trevitt. This was meant for Dowsing, but picked up and set by Western Springs. Tai Timu. Jervis. Jervis. And, clearance has only gone as far as Tafaru, who spotted a run just in behind the holding midfielder by Garcia. Got very good spatial awareness, Sam Tafaru, whether she's got her back to goal or she's facing forward. Spotting runs from teammates, spotting opportunities to hold play up and bring other players into the build-up. Here's Green. She's back into trouble, but she's managed to get away from Mayo. That's not bad. Here's Georgie Fennell. Dowsing. That's well done by Central Football. Green. Nice work again, both left and right foot. Central's best spell of the game so far. Here's Trevitt's ball into the box, away by Ulavili. Tai Timu, and now with Mayo. And that's probably one of the other key differences between these two teams, just the way that Western Springs react to the second ball as Tafaru plays Garcia. Innes. There was a run on the right-hand side of that three-player midfield by Harano. Tai Timu. Innes. Good run by Garcia to come off of the defence and include Hirano in the build-up. Oh, lovely skill by Hirano. Is there quality to finish off the move? Well, there is in terms of the defending. Olivilli. Jervis about to come forward. Central Football now looking to press the attack through Madison Hughes and Olivia Stewart, but Western Springs have managed to find space in behind through Tafaru, whose cross is deflected for a corner. To the near post, and it will be a repeat. Making a nuisance of herself at the near post. McKenna Chittenden the company, but this is a variation now from Springs, and the shot by Akita hits the top of Central Football's goal frame. But it took a deflection on the way through. Here's another look at it. Very good strike by Akita. Oh, and that's straight into the 6-yard box, and Central Football were caught by surprise. I was caught by surprise as well. It just seemed to be taken so quickly. And Sophie Campbell was the only player in Central Colours who reacted just in the nick of time to get that shot away from the goal mouth. Good save by that chap there. Mayo's throw, played back by Garcia. Well, infringement spotted, but it was out of shot for us, so it's anyone's guess what happened there.
We played in Jury
Okay, turn around, can you shape the yellow?
Over where the blue line is, so just put three blue on the white line and just shoot, stop the thing going.
White was offside. They said it was like 2 meters offside. There was a line.
Well, Central Football have an opportunity from a corner to half the deficit and put Western Springs' 2-goal lead under threat. Highlands corner's not bad. It's won by Ulavili and then eventually hooked away by Jess Innes. Tension would go up a notch if Central were able to find a way to score and put some of Western Springs' confidence into disarray. The last time these two teams played was on the 16th of October and it finished 5-1 to Springs. Good ball by Green. It's well read by Ulavili, who stepped in to deal with Georgie Fennell and her threat. Goal scorers in that last game on the 16th of October. Jess Innes with 2, Rena Hirano with 2, and Emma Peinenberg, and Madison Hughes was on target for Central Football. All of those players are playing today. Jervis. Verano, that's a well improvised pass to Jess Innes, who spots a run in behind by Garcia. Good save again. She tried to beat Campbell at the near post, and the young goalkeeper got across and denied Garcia. Look at this. She had a lot to do. You would still back Garcia to score in that position. Corner kick, and it was Garcia who popped up again at the far post and almost got the final touch. Here's another look at this run in behind by Garcia. It was well hit. It was going in. It's at a good height for Campbell to get across and stop, but she still had to react. And against a player who has plundered goals throughout the National Women's League season. Peinenberg for Innes. Taitimu. Jayuli-Vili. Taitimu, very tidy on the ball. Innes has found some space here on the left-hand side of midfield, and it's not a bad ball for Rano. Well, Garcia's claiming it took a touch on the way through. And Beth Rattray is going to have a word with Sophia Garcia, but here's another look at it. Well, there might be a case there that Sophie Campbell got a glove on it. Taitimu. Nice ball into Garcia. Found some real estate between the lines there as Myers' cross is whipped in. Tafaru. Tried to spot the run in behind by Akira. It's with Olivia Stewart. Came in very late as a late replacement for Isla Cleal-Harding, and one of the heroes in the victory for Central Football over Southern United last week. Well, it's been a very busy year for domestic football, but of course in 2023 it's all about the FIFA Women's World Cup. And the action starts very early. The Football Ferns have a couple of friendlies lined up in January against the United States. January the 18th and the 21st in Wellington and Auckland respectively. And then there is the FIFA Women's World Cup qualifying playoff tournament in Hamilton and Auckland. And Football Ferns, I believe, have a friendly with Portugal penciled in just before that tournament starts. Jervis. Little give and go played, and then a final pass intended for Garcia goes all the way through to Campbell. Might have been worth having a shot from that particular position. You've noticed that Ryan Faithfull's team have tried to keep playing, almost over-egging the pudding at times. It's not a criticism. It's understandable in many ways. They want to get as many passes together and get the small creative elements of their game in check, but sometimes it's also good to be very direct and ruthless, and that's what Eastern Suburbs have shown us throughout the summer so far. They've played some brilliant football even when they've been 3, 4, 5 goals up. They just don't seem to have an off switch. Innes, Taitimu. Looking for Rano, pulled wide on the right-hand side. Coakley goes out to try and deal with it, but Harano's away. Garcia's there. Harano keeps the run going. Cut back by Garcia. Another good save by Sophie Campbell. Well, she's having an outstanding game, the Central Football goalkeeper. was Hirano who made this incisive run to Garcia. Look at this, she just cuts inside the defender, lines up the shot again at the near post, but this time to the right-hand side, and it's fended away by Campbell with some skill. Certainly don't want to deflect that back into the busyness of the penalty box as Campbell takes a clean catch from that corner kick. She's technically very, very good, Sophie Campbell. Her distribution and the way she took that ball that was played into the penalty box were all textbook. Her saves as well, very intelligent under pressure. Doesn't have the physical presence or the height of some goalkeepers, but she's showing that that needn't be a hindrance. Smith for Trevitt. Trevitt goes long towards Dowsing, and Georgie Fennell gives chase against Ulavili, and it's Ulavili who comes out on top. Just under 10 minutes to go to the break. Western Springs leading by 2-0. Rena Hirano and Jess Innes scoring, giving Western Springs a degree of comfort. Very, very close to confirming a appearance in the grand final. Unless Central Football can manufacture a goal. They've only failed to score once in their last 5 games, Central Football, so getting on the score sheet today isn't necessarily out of the question as Tafaru ranges forward. There's a good run. What a run that is by Rena Hirano down the right. Help arriving, Akita. Innes has gone hunting and come up with some quarry here. That's a great cross. Anybody on the end of it? No, there's not. Central struggling here. Hirano. Another shot, took a deflection, then through to the goalkeeper. Kida. Jervis. Now Ulavili on the left-hand side of Western Springs back 4. Celia Maya, I think, obscured by the Western Springs dugout. Finds Innes, then Taitimo. Jervis. Lovely skill from Takida. Tafaru. Nicely done. Saw the way she drew the defender and then rolled around to play that ball into Emma Peinenberg. Takida combining with Tafaru. It fell apart somewhere along the way to the return pass, but you could see what was on there for Western Springs. They do like to get their fullbacks forward and have midfielders as well, sort of running interference against Central Football defensive block that tends to coalesce very deep in its own penalty box. Here's Garcia. Cut back to the top of the box for Mayo. Couldn't get any power on the shot. It's cleared by Trevitt. Lily Taitimu tidies up. Ulavili back to Taitimu. Oof, and a mishap, but she's recovered. Jervis. Tafaru finding more space in midfield. Garcia, first time touch was good, and the defending is going to have to be very good, and indeed, eventually, it was cleared by Lara Smith. But you felt almost certain that Western Springs were going to add a third there. Now Pynenberg running directly at that yellow wall of defenders on the edge of the 18-yard box. Mila Green, good quick turn against Mayo. Here's Dowsing. Green tries to play a ball in behind. It's miscued and cleared by Jervis. Good use of the body by Lily Taitimu to hold off a much stronger opponent in Dowsing. Jervis goes along, intending to find Tafaru, and she does, but offside. Not offside when she received it, offside, returning from an offside position. Tessa Highland. Loses out to Innes, it's with Tafaru. Played back by Madison Hughes to Campbell. Here's Chittenden, McKenna Chittenden. Rebecca Trevitt. Can't get past Garcia. Chittenden plays Campbell. Skillfully done to find Rebecca Trevitt by Campbell. An awkward pass into the midfield intended for Madison Hughes. It's now with Western Springs and Garcia. Good block by Campbell again. And in frustration, more than anything else, Garcia's rifled that over the top by quite some distance. But look at this. Great ball in to find Garcia. And there wasn't a lot to criticize about the shot. It was good, it was on target, it was low. But again, Sophie Campbell had already committed to her left, saved with her feet. You have to say that's not Sophia Garcia who's done anything wrong. That's all about the goalkeeping. And the high quality of it. Taitimu from Mayo. All clipped in behind is intended for Garcia, but instead finds McKenna Chittenden. Tafaru goes to try and close it down. Good first touch by Campbell. Now Smith. Coakley. Can't connect with Olivia Stewart. Taitimu. Western Springs looking to move the ball forward into midfield. Garcia spots the run in behind. And here's Hirano, and that should be easy for Sam Tafaru. And that should settle it in terms of the result. You would think Western Springs now 3 goals to the good. Hirano, very, very good ball into the box, and Sam Tafaru doesn't miss those. Western Springs 3, Central Football 0 with a minute to go before the break. Pynenberg. Taitimu. Ulavili. Innes drops into midfield. Mayo makes a run forward on the left-hand side. Jervis. Takeda. Oh, sorry, that is Hirano, who plays a give and go with Takeda. There's a cut back to Garcia and miscues it. It was just enough of a miscue for Campbell to line that up. It was a difficult one because it was coming through a defender. Partially sighted goalkeepers don't always manage to get their body in front of the ball like that, but Campbell did. by Takeda, picked up by Pynenberg. Hirano, who's made an inverted run forward this time. It's Tawhuru who's gone on the outside. That's a good cross. Garcia's there, so is Innes. If she can find her, she might go herself. Oh, that's brave goalkeeping. Look at Garcia's face, and no wonder, yeah. A shake of the head, because she thought that she had done enough to beat Campbell. Look at this. It was a great move by Western Springs, very diverse and interesting variation on the build-up. Garcia gets a better of Trevor here and then thinks, right, that goes in the back of the net, but look at Campbell, she didn't flinch, did not flinch. Unfortunately for Campbell and Central Football, they've been unable to prevent Western Springs from taking a comfortable half-time lead. Goals to Jess Innes, Rina Hirano and Sam Tawhuru. It's 3-0 at half-time to Western Springs. More to come very soon.
Fujifilm, Newtown, Tiger Turf, Quick and Easy, F45 and the Trophy Centre. We'd also just like to extend a really...
Well, the Men's National League Championship comes to a conclusion tomorrow at Mount Smart Stadium when Auckland City FC take on Wellington Olympic. The final match of an epic domestic season. And the top goal scorers in this competition are led by Wellington Olympic striker and a Kashmir Technical striker who have managed to score 18 goals between them.
Reset nicely, but now Watson's got a chance here. Good ball, here's a big chance for that player slipping over. And the chance is taken, it's Mason Smith. Sam Mason Smith knows how to finish. His fourth goal of the National League, and Miramar reclaim the lead.
This is a long strike from Howison, and it's cleared the goalkeeper, caught him completely unawares with the wind, and that is one of the best long-range goals you'll ever see.
Are we picking goal of the season already from Cam Howison? I think so.
Gully onto the right foot. Beautiful pass. Jack Henry Sinclair's onside.
Nice goal.
That's a brilliant finish by Jack Henry Sinclair. One of the most exciting players in the National League Championship. And Wellington Olympic double the lead.
There's a ball for a Melbourne player, this time it has! It's a third goal and they take the lead in the game, and it's Kalotti who scored it. Well, all this pressure coming from these corners had to count for something in the end for Melbourne, and it has.
Casual with seizing that ball. Now the space here for Jacob Richards. Oh, that's a fine finish by Jacob Richards. And it came from a Melville United mistake in midfield, but there's no doubting the quality of this volley.
Switch of play from Tado. That might be the only way Joe Lee gets possession, is get a 40-metre pass. Shuffles in Tade, hits his spot and hits the back of the net. And there is the threat, there is the danger. And Auckland United pay the biggest price. And Emi Tade scores again for Auckland City.
Rover. That's on Smith. Back onto his right foot. That's a decent run, and that is a decent goal. A more than decent goal, in fact. William Pearce. And Miramar Rangers have been opened up with a lovely piece of play and creativity by Christchurch United.
United on the counter now. An opportunity through Zambrano to use the full width of the pitch on this left wing side. Opportunity for Faye, the under-20 international, and they got the opening goal. And that is stunning. What a finish on the volley from Zambrano. And that is counter-attacking football at its best. Soaking up the pressure, United. And within 2 or 3 passes, the ball is in the back of the net. Auckland City are both lucky, but they still give possession away. So shooting opportunity, deflection, just hits the post. And on the rebound, they scored early. This is a stunning opening from Birkenhead, and it's their captain, Sam Burfoot, who scores. And it seems incredible after just 3.5 minutes to say that it's been coming, but it has.
And here is Tade with Howison sweeping forward. This is looking likely here for Auckland City. Howison early ball in, and there is the goal, beautifully done. Ryan de Vries opens the scoring. Superb combinations from the attacking trio.
Nicely done by Joe Poole, and Raboka has managed to find his way past one opponent. He's got Wilkinson just to his left, who's lined up the shot. Oh, that's a fine finish. What a goal by Eddie Wilkinson. Set up by Raboka. Christchurch back in business.
Tade, heavy first touch, maintains possession. Tade, near post, what an equaliser! Emi Tade, you are a magician.
Oh, I say, what a goal! What an absolutely beautiful goal! And the balcony at Shepherd's Park erupts in delight, and Auckland United find themselves a goal down. Well, some very exciting goals, high quality goals, and no wonder. Garvin Coughlin, 10 goals for Kashmir Technical, and then it's Gianni Bazoukas on 9 for Wellington Olympic. Jesse Randall was 7, and Bazoukas and Randall get an opportunity to add to that tally tomorrow when the National League Championship Grand Final takes place between Auckland City FC and their very own Wellington Olympic. That game taking place tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Mount Smart Stadium. It's live on Sky Sport 3 tomorrow from 1:50 p.m. It's sure to be a mouth-watering finish to what has been a very long and enjoyable domestic season. But it's all about this game, and we were entertained with 3 goals in the first half. Western Springs in total control of this match, but they've come up against a young goalkeeper in Sophie Campbell, who's determined not to give up without a fight. There were a number of top quality saves that she pulled off as Western Springs set forth with an unrelenting wave of attack after attack. That was Jess Innes opening the scoring on 14 minutes. Nothing that Campbell could do about that. And there was more to come from the green and white hoops. Innes put in this great ball, fine header by Sam Tafaru, and Campbell denying Western Springs a goal and then hauling that one back off the line. Rena Hirano, though, was not to be denied. She beat Campbell at the near post. It was a very strong shot. She worked herself into that space, evading the challenge from Kim Chittenden as she prepares to go back to Australia alongside her teammate Arisa Takeda. Jess Innes then set up this chance for Sophia Garcia, who couldn't beat Campbell. Made a great save. Then Takeda combined with Garcia on the right-hand side. She cuts back in, and then Campbell again defies her at the near post. There would be more of that just before the break. Sam Tafaru, though, converted here within the 6-yard box. It was a great run down the right-hand side, again by Rena Hirano. And Tafaru has had a very solid first half. Doesn't miss those. Well, we've had a look at the men's Golden Boot leaders board and some of the quality goals scored in the competition this season. Let's have a look at how the women's has turned out for 2022.
Lovely ball is Prince across the face of goal. Here's a goal. Ball laid into the path of Kennedy Bryant for her second. And that was an absolutely cutting-edge attack from Southern United. Lovely ball in behind the defence. Prince did the build-up work and Bryant applied the finishing touch.
Atkins swinging this one and Simon's nowhere, and it's a goal from Taylor O'Brien. Who else? The Eastern Suburbs.
Into the attack, but then straight away has to turn back. There's some defending work to do. Ruby Nathan, one of those slip passes that Springs was so good at in the first half, and it has borne fruit with Maya Vince, the substitute, coming on from a deep position, getting in front of the keeper again, and just sliding that ball home, and Auckland United double their advantage.
Alicia Green. Maisie Jewell. Takes one, and now Kelly Brown in a good position. That's a decent cross.
Oh, lovely ball.
Brilliant goal. Absolutely stunning finish from a high quality cross and a very well conceived move by Northern Rovers.
Pulls it in. Here's a good opportunity, good chance, good shot, good goal. Canterbury United pride opened the scoring. Charlotte Roach, the second opportunity she's had this afternoon. Colby chasing this one. Marshalled by Philpott. Will twist the ball inside. Here's Painterberg. Painterberg with a strike. Painterberg with the goal. Lovely left foot strike by Emma Painterberg. Took the ball onto her left foot and just drilled that one past Tuimano.
Lovely ball through for Devon Jackson. Has a little shot. Oh, lovely place there by Devon Jackson. Nice little side foot. Pass to Samoa. 2-0 Eastern Suburbs. Enough enthusiastic Eastern Suburbs crowd there tonight. Oh, Takeda. Oh! What a great goal by Takeda. The ball in, she cuts on the inside onto her left foot, strikes it perfectly into the top left-hand corner.
Oh, lovely bit of work.
Oh, what a goal!
Clara Smith. What a wonderful strike. She can't believe it herself.
Devon Jackson gets a little touch off to Wilfred Carroll, has a shot. Oh! It is a shot and a half. Wilfred Carroll. That's a sucker punch right there for Western Springs. And what a left-footed rocket by Wilfred Carroll.
Wayward pass, Hirano intercepts that on that occasion. Garcia, Hirano now, one-on-one. Here's Hirano. Oh, great footwork. And it's in. It is a goal from Hirano. Well, thought that one may get away from her, but she did choose to find the back of the net on that occasion. Rena Hirano. A bit of pressure playing off for Western Springs. One-on-one with Uluvili does well. And on target, what a strike! Petra Buick. Fantastic strike. What a run from the substitute. She's been quite the star for Canterbury since she's been on.
Well, here is how the Women's National League top goal scorers leaderboard looks, with Taylor O'Brien out in front on 17 goals, she of Eastern Suburbs. Bree Johnson on 12, Auckland United. Devon Jackson on 11. She's been in great form in recent weeks. And Sophia Garcia, who's on 9 at the moment. She so could easily have had 1 or 2 in the first half of today's game. but she sits there on 9. So a lot of football coming up today as well in the National Women's League. Northern Rovers taking on Canterbury United at 1:30 live on New Zealand Football YouTube. They are chasing a place in the grand final, but it looks forlorn. Southern United against Eastern Suburbs tomorrow, live on Sky Sport Next, coming to you from Dunedin. That kicks off at midday. And Auckland United taking on Capital Football on Sky Sport Next. That kicks off at 1:30. And then, of course, the Men's National League Championship Grand Final. Auckland City FC taking on Wellington Olympic, coming to you from Mount Smart Stadium, live on Sky Sport 3, led by Andrew Dewhurst and commentary. And that kicks off from 1:50 p.m. Well, Northern Rovers must be watching this and thinking that their hopes of catching Western Springs are all but done. They look very, very comfortable and very much in control. 3 goals in front of Central Football, and they've really been under threat at the other end of the pitch. Sam Tawhuru, Rena Hirano and Jess Ennis, the goal scorers. They'll be looking to finish off the job in the second half. Good touch by Tawhuru. Chittenden. Neatly done by Jess Ennis. Now Jervis. Jayulivili. And it's popping up on the left-hand side of midfield. That was a good ball intended for Celia Mayo. Just couldn't keep it in. And we'll restart with a throw from Rebecca Trefford. Nice touch by Millie Green. Oh, it'd be nice for Central Football to maybe get on the score sheet here and finish the season on a positive. Gap between themselves and Auckland United is 5 points. So there's very little chance that they will finish any place other than 8th, but give themselves something to build on. You can see that they're a well-drilled team. They're just lacking in cutting edge up top. Very strong down the right-hand side, not as strong down the left. Here's Pinenberg, spots the run by Takeda. Oh, lovely touch from Garcia. Tried to work herself into a shooting position with that right foot. Now Pinenberg. Innes beats her player, and the shot off target. Got her head down and decided that she would go by Tessa Highland and try and test the goalkeeper. Olivia Stewart. Marissa Takeda, Rena Hirano. Lily Jervis. Keely Taylor. Or Jayulivili. Central Football looked to press, and you could just see the line starting to get wider for Western Springs. And they decided to go up the right-hand side when perhaps there was more space through the middle. Pressing forward for Central. Garcia picking up the ball in midfield. Takeda's pass was sloppy, but so too was the response by Central Football. They're back under pressure again. Rena Hirano, lovely skill. Tafaru to her right. That's worked several times now for Western Springs, with the two players, Tafaru and Hirano, exchanging attacking channels. Heinenberg. Taitimu cleared by Lara Smith. Takeda on the right-hand side bends in a lovely cross, very tempting, you would have thought, for a Western Springs player to get on the end of, but it's cleared. And Central Football have to reset and do more defending. Emma Peinenberg working away across that penalty box. Garcia's dispossessed, but Ulaveli tidies up. Jervis. Nice turn by Peinenberg. That's high quality. That's a lovely ball through. It was only just out of the reach of Garcia, whose eyes must have lit up. Great work by Peinenberg. And again, Garcia causing problems and disruption in the Central Football backline. Smith plays it safe. Tafaru. Taitumi let it run. All the way back to Ulaveli. Now they exchange positions. Garcia gets involved. Oh, you could see what the idea was. It was very well thought out. Akita looked to have made a run just in behind Olivia Stewart. Heinenberg having to fight hard to retain possession. Edison Hughes snapping away at her heels. Taitimu bounces the ball out to Ulaveli. Tafaru, away by Rebecca Trefford. Chance for Central Football to exert some pressure on Western Springs. 4 players forward. Trefford with a throw. And 2 footballs on the park. I think the game adjacent to this pitch. A wayward shot. And now Garcia running at Central Football, going on her own. And good save again. Sophie Campbell and Sophia Garcia are engaged in an individual battle that's been compelling from start to finish. Good save. Low to her right. Tafaru. Mayo. She's given that one away to Tessa Highland. Now Dowsing. Taitimu, Jess Innes. Good play by Jess Innes. Tafaru into the box and a chance now, and that is the 4th. And Rena Hirano, who scored 2 goals in the 5-1 win over Central Football back in October, has scored a 2nd here today. And Western Springs now 4 goals in front, and this is why. Sam Tafaru setting up this opportunity for Hirano, who turned her opponent at the penalty box, and then the shot gave Sophie Campbell no hope. And it's turning into a very sweet farewell for Rena Hirano and Arisa Takeda. players who are leaving the club combining to excellent effect. And Hirano lays it off to Tafaru. Oh, she tried to play it in for Garcia, who might come through and does. And, well, she gives a shove to Sophie Campbell, who's back up on her feet. It's had an incredible game, despite the scoreline. Like, if you were to see that scoreline on a piece of paper, you could make any assumptions about what type of goalkeeping performance must have taken place, but Sophie Campbell's played very well. Garcia. All clipped into the near post, and Hirano was there, and Campbell claims it. Taken by Millie Green. Georgie Fennell. Celia Mayo interfering for Western Springs, but it's broken for Lily Dowsing. That's a good run forward, and the defending by Takeda was excellent. It had to be. Madison Hughes had raced forward from a deep area looking to get on the end of things, and now Central Football will have to be careful in transition, although Sophia Garcia's taken that pressure off the visitors with that wayward pass.
These days it's Van Dijk. He looks very tired. I think I think he played many games last year.
Rano, Takeda, Tafaru. Western Springs surging forward through Jay Uluvili. That's a good run by the centre half. Well, she was looking for support, it wasn't forthcoming, and she's won the ball back, or has she? No, she hasn't. It's Georgie Fennell who's won it. And ball for Lily Dowsing was just over hit, and Lily Jervis is able to reclaim that, and now it's with Lily Taitimu. Peinenberg. Rano, who has dropped a bit deeper. Doesn't seem to matter. She's tried to play a give and go with Garcia, who must be wondering what she has to do to get a goal today. Here's Madison Hughes. Space opening up at the back here. Western Springs back line, but that's given away by Central, starting to show some tiredness. Remember, they only have 2 players on the bench. As Garcia races through, she's gone round Campbell, and she can't place the ball in the back of the net. The cover was provided by Lara Smith anyway. But she just ran out of real estate. Smith went round Campbell and got to the goal line, and Garcia just couldn't manage to get the critical touch at the critical moment. Coach Ryan Faithful will be looking to his bench very shortly. Springs 4 goals to the good. Comfortably into the grand final now, you would have to say. And an opportunity to offer minutes to players on the fringes. Now that they've got a couple of weeks up their sleeve, you would assume, to plan for a final against Eastern Suburbs. So here is confirmation of a couple of changes. Sophia Dyer and Lara Kolpe coming in, and Jay Uluvili And Sam Tawhara are coming out.
Substitutions for Western Springs. Number 6, Jodeci.
Very good performance by both players. Sam Tawhara especially had a very good game for an hour, almost an hour, scoring a goal, and was the fulcrum of a lot of their attacks, combining well with Rena Hirano. In fact, when you reflect on that performance and the combination between Tawhara and Hirano, Western Springs are definitely going to miss her in a couple of weeks' time. And if Takita's not there also, well, that's the entire right-hand side of Western Springs' attack that will be missing. And so Ryan Faithfull's got some thinking to do about what that looks like. And he's now going to have one more game up his sleeve to maybe execute a plan around that. It's a dry run against Eastern Suburbs, isn't it? Of course, it would be. That taking place on Friday the 9th of December, 7:30 kickoff.
You've been here so long now, you're not used to it.
Pynenberg, who's another player that Ryan Faithfull will have to replace. Although there seems to be enough within Western Springs' setup to perhaps accommodate that. I wonder if Colby could play a key role there. In fact, the midfield of Colby, Garcia and Innes wouldn't be too bad. Here's Garcia from distance, and wow. That was hit and struck with plenty of venom, but very little accuracy. Well, didn't quite get her head over the ball to try and keep it down, and just kept rising all the time. Pynenberg. Hirano spots a run in behind by Sophia Dyer. Well, Akita didn't really agree with that decision by Beth Rattray, but Jack Anderson, who's the assistant referee on the side, saw it more clearly. Lily Dowsing, that's a good ball. Mila Green taking on Celia Mayo. Lovely skill. Oh, she's almost through, but that's comfortably read by Takita. Jervis. Hirano. Takita, who's moved into midfield by the looks of things. Just for the moment, Hirano taking up her usual position. It's something that Western Springs have done pretty well. They've got good movement throughout the team. We've seen overlapping runs, we've seen underlapping runs when they're on the attack. They've been quite capable of playing the ball short into feed, or like this attack from Jervis to Dyer. They can be direct. Lovely combination here between Hirano and Dyer. She needs help though. Good defending. Sophia Dyer got marooned there by her teammates. It's Jervis who wins it back. Takita finds Hirano. There's a shot to the near post. Oh, goodness me, that's either hit the inside of the post or Campbell's got something on it, or a combination of both. And Central Football living dangerously. We're almost midway through the second half. And it's Western Springs who control the game, 4-0. It was almost 5 then. Tessa Highland. And a free kick goes the way of Central Football. Jess Innes isn't quite sure what Beth Rattray saw, but here's another look at Hirano's effort here. Well, I think it might have hit the base of the post with Campbell beaten. Four players in the wall for Western Springs, and well, 7 forward for Central Football, so be interesting to see if they can get something off this. Oh, and that's hit the crossbar. Great effort. Oh, and it's just over the top at the second time of asking. Well, Keely Taylor hasn't had much to do, but this was well struck by Tessa Highland. I think Keely Taylor might have got something on it, and Central Football unable to keep the second effort underneath the crossbar. Garcia. Innes opens up the game for Lily Jervis to roam forward. Popped in towards Takeda. Dyer beaten to the ball. Heinenberg, Innes, Takeda. Good rotation of players this by Western Springs. Good touch by Hirano. Dyer is away and squares it unselfishly, and at last, long last, Sofia Garcia is on the score sheet. And it was a brilliant move by Western Springs from start to finish. That's a good ball by Dyer, and Garcia beats her opponent to the ball in the 6-yard box, and Campbell had no chance of stopping that. Western Springs go 5-0 ahead, and they're romping it into the grand final. Well, Sofia Garcia must have had at least half a dozen chances in this game to score, and the one that was closest to the goal line is the one that she finishes. It was put on a plate for her by Dyer, but it was a very impressive move that involved Hirano and Jervis and Takeda. And here's Dyer again with a tail up. Good early ball into the box for Garcia. Oh, and I think Innes was looking for Garcia to maybe spin and attack a very sharp pass, but Garcia not on the same page this time. It was a big ask by Innes, really, for Garcia to do that, but it illustrates the dominance that Western Springs have enjoyed in this game. Does take the pressure off for that last game against Eastern Suburbs in the league. Ryan Faithfull, the coach, will get an opportunity to have a very close look at his team and Eastern Suburbs, and I wonder what Suburbs will do in terms of the way they treat that match. They had a wonderful victory over Northern Rovers, a game that was broadcast on Sky Sports, and speaking to them, they were trying to keep some degree of complacency out of their preparations. They had suffered a defeat to Southern United and were keen to keep standards high, which is always difficult to do when you're so far out in front of everybody else. Here's Dowsing for Central. Trying to find a way through Lily Gervais, but she's done well. Garcia. Campbell's come a long way out. She's dealt with that well. Picks out Miller Green. Oh, good turn by Garcia. Pass wasn't of equal quality, and Pip Coakley comes away with it, but as always, it seems, Central Football's transition from defence into attack is found somewhat wanting, and that's a good ball for, well, it was the right idea, but it wasn't a good ball forward by Colby. It was overhit, but now there's a chance for Ryan Faithfull to make further substitutions. 2 more. Lisa Kemp and Helena O'Connor are coming in, and it's Celia Mayo and Sofia Garcia who make way. So Garcia gets a goal and then leaves the stage, and Celia Mayo's had a pretty solid game down that left-hand side.
Number 10, Sofia Garcia off, and number 33, Helena O'Connor on. Number 28, Celia Mayo off, and number 15, Lisa Kemp on.
Coakley loses out to Pinenberg. Plays Serrano. First touch of the ball for Helena O'Connor. And now Innes lines one up. Oh, and it's against the crossbar. Beautiful shot. Beautifully taken shot by Jess Innes. O'Connor tried to play Sophia Dyer. It's with Hirano. Dyer now on the edge of the box, and play breaks down. But goodness me, what a hit this is by Jess Innes. On the left foot, bending away from Campbell.
Substitution for Central Football, number 6, Tessa Highland off. Number 11, Christina Treffert on.
Well, Tessa Highland, who's played with an injury, is replaced by Christina Treffert. And this final 20 minutes could be really tough for Central Football. They've only got one other substitute left to play now, and that's Holly Scott. I've only brought 2 players up to Auckland for the match, and the Western Springs have got Ray Morrison left to play. Here's Hirano. Shots blocked. There's a follow through by Colby. Good save. That's a great save. And gets a pat on the back, and McKenna Chittenden appreciates the skill of Sophie Campbell, as indeed we all have this afternoon. It's been highlights of a very one-sided game. The quality here as Hirano let fly with a shot. Colby gave it everything as well, and that's just on the edge of the box. Free shot at goal, open goal. Campbell was equal to it. Corner bent in, and there it is. Goal number 6. And there was nothing Campbell could do about that. It was a brilliantly taken corner, and it's Lily Jervis who has a big hug for Arisa Takeda. The quality on the corner kick was brilliant, and the skipper adds her name to an ever-growing score sheet.
Substitution for Central Football, number 12, Lily Dowsing off, number 14, Holly Scott on.
Well, Holly Scott thrown into the action for Lily Dowsing, as you could hear from the PA system here at Seddon Field. Hughes throws a long ball forward. Oof, and there's a problem, but it's only a minor one as it turns out. Ball played back into the goalkeeper, and defender and goalkeeper not on the same page, which is never good. Here's O'Connor. Slipped into the channel, and that's nicely done to pick out Pinenberg. Little give and go with Dyer, Pinenberg, and now O'Connor. Shot deflected a couple of times, trundles into Campbell. Colby. Ennis. Nice ball manipulation by Lara Colby under pressure. Taylor. Jess Ennis, who's had a starring role in Western Springs' victory today. She's going to be a very important player in that grand final, given that 3 players are departing Western Springs after this match. Colby will have to be one that steps forward. You can see her obviously playing centre midfield now, and Takeda pops up on the right-hand side. Hirano. Takeda's made a run into the penalty box. Hirano's gone by her opponent and still goes forward. Pinenberg arrives, clipped into their penalty box, and they're lining up here. Dyer, then Innes. O'Connor. Colby spreads it wide to Hirano again. Good defending. Eventually, Central Football get the ball out to Christina Trefford. Here's Kemp. Nice work by Pinenberg. Here's Dyer taking on Lara Smith. She's beaten Smith. Looking for somebody to tee the ball up for, and it was Helena O'Connor who was denied by Rebecca Trefford. Pinenberg. Central Football just sitting at a low block as Colby evades Mila Green and tries to tee up a shot. Couldn't get the power in that left foot to seriously trouble Sophie Campbell. And the final change for Western Springs, it will be Ray Morrison who comes on for the skipper, Lily Jervis.
Substitution Western Springs, Lily Jervis, number 4 off. Number 48, Reed Morrison on.
Well, both teams have emptied their benches now, so we will finish this match with what you see before you in terms of playing personnel. Takeda. Pinenberg running at a Central Football side that is backing off in numbers. Innes. Oh, that's a good ball by Innes for Dyer. And tipped over by Sophie Campbell, but I think Dyer was offside. Beautiful pass threaded through by Jess Innes. Look at that. Past 3 players and Dyer couldn't get the better of Campbell, but offside. Christina Trevor did well there to get involved, but the shot was a tame one. Well, 10 minutes to go plus stoppages. Western Springs 6, Central Football 0. I had a feeling, looking at the team sheets, that with so many changes for Central forced on them and only 2 substitutes, that it was going to be a tough afternoon, and it certainly has proved to be the case. Here's Dyer. Cross was decent. Hirano tries to work onto her right foot, cuts back inside. There's the shot from Pynenberg. Very carefully judged shot it was too. And on 81 minutes, Pynenberg adds her name to the scorers list, and a moment of personal farewell. Campbell did pretty well to get anywhere near it, but she was unable to stop it. So Western Springs goes 7-0 up, and Emma Pynenberg signs off with a quality goal. Addison Hughes working the ball wide on the right for Pip Coakley, but there's nothing of note to come out of the cross other than Keely Taylor getting on the end of it. Here's Colby. Here's Kemp. Now Jess Innes. And a touch of the ball for Ray Morrison that is defended conservatively by Rebecca Treffert, and now Central have some defending to do with Morrison on the ball. Tries a shot. Oh, that's a beautiful strike by the young substitute, and that's 8-0. What a stunning volley. Technically beautiful to watch, but it had all the power necessary to thump into the back of the net. I think Campbell might have got a glove on it, but it wasn't enough to steer the ball clear. And what an impact. Well, the first touch was with the black boot. The final touch was with the white boot, and some touch it was too. Two goals inside 3 minutes. And you wouldn't bet against Western Springs adding to the tally. Central Football's biggest defeat this season was 9-0 to Northern Rovers back on the 2nd of October of this year. They've lost games to Eastern Suburbs 8-0, a 9-3 to Auckland United, and a 9-1 to Suburbs at home. That was just a couple of weeks ago. So some unwanted history perhaps beckons for Central Football. Here's Colby. Dyer. Colby runs through. few party tricks coming out. And let's not forget that Central Football will be feeling the fatigue here as Pynenberg comes forward. Now Takeda, give and go with Hirano. Has Takeda got a finish in it? No, she hasn't. Not yet anyway. Olivia Stewart dispossessed. Tai Timu. Innes. Takeda's definitely playing further forward. She started the game at right back, and I think she's trying to get on the score sheet too. As Pynenberg's ball for O'Connor is picked up by Christina Treffert. Here's Christina Treffert again. Looks to go long towards Holly Scott. Scott does well. Christina Treffert made a run forward, but she's dispossessed by Lisa Kemp. Well defended by Pip Coakley. Holly Scott had the layoff for Olivia Stewart, but Stewart couldn't keep it in. Takeda into Hirano. Meta Green dispossessed by Hirano, and this is really just Western Springs seeing this out now. They've confirmed their place in the grand final. They confirmed these points quite some time ago, perhaps even at 3-0 at half time. It had a feeling of inevitability around it. And now this is about adding some icing on the cake, and perhaps Takeda getting a goal to sign off her farewell as Morrison plays Pynenberg in. Dyer cuts inside Stewart, spots Hirano. Oh, she's turned her hat trick on. Good save by Campbell. Colby. Colby beats Mila Green, and definitely some tired legs out there for Central. They've had to do a lot of work as that cross is tipped away by Sophie Campbell. Good work here by Hirano. Lovely turn. And Campbell, look, had to come out and close that space. And she did it very thoughtfully. And the technique on the save was good. I think if there's been a player of the day for Western Springs, it's very difficult to pick out, given there were so many good performances. But it's very clear to this commentator that Sophie Campbell's the player of the match for Central Football. Oh, and she's dropped one here. She's managed to pick off a second save, and Beth Rattray, the referee, has spotted an infringement. And possibly a yellow card is coming out. Here's another look at the corner kick. Oh, yes, right. So I think Campbell was maybe kicked after she dropped the ball. Or has that been given as a goal? I think it's a goal. It is a goal. Well, 9-0. Have to see that again if possible to be able to pick out who scored it. That caught everybody by surprise. It must have bent into the net. Well, bent into the goal at least. It didn't get anywhere near the net. Well, that equals the record defeat for the season, and it's a sad way for Central Football to wrap things up. Just a minute of the 90 to be played, less than that. Plus whatever stoppages Beth Rattray suggests that we will have. By Tai Timu. Looked like a handball by Takeda, but Takeda's picked up a foul anyway. Rebecca Trefford getting involved. Three minutes additional time. Will Roberts bang in front of us, able to share that information. Still time for Western Springs to hit double figures. Here's Sophie Dyer. She's beaten 2 players. Now Pinenberg, and a chance for Takeda. Oh, that was her moment. And Campbell pulls off a brilliant save. Pinenberg very patiently threads the ball through. Takeda had stayed forward, and the shot was at a great height for Sophie Campbell to stop, but she still had to stop it. It was hit with ferocity and power at close range. Here's Hirano. Connor has a swing at it. Away by Madison Hughes. Clip back in. Takeda has lifted one over, and Campbell came out for it. Good work by Pip Coakley. Taylor. We're halfway through the additional time, and it's a chance now for players like Emma Pinenberg and Rena Hirano and Arisa Takeda to have a think about their time at Western Springs and how that time is now coming to a close, and no doubt feeling a wide range of different emotions, and looking forward to a different future that involves some travel for all 3 of them. And I bet you they'll be wondering what they are leaving behind in terms of the grand final, and Western Springs' hopes of winning that grand final. It'll be a lot tougher without those 3, Pinenberg, Takeda and Hirano. And they should get a good round of applause at the end of this one from the home side and their supporters. Clearly very well loved, respected and adored, and they will leave with the best wishes of everyone at Seddon Field, I'm sure. And there it is, Beth Rattray brings to an end a game that has been completely dominated by one team, Western Springs. They have won here today by 9-0 to confirm their place in the National Women's League Grand Final. And a whole raft of different goal scorers. Sophia Garcia, Lily Jervis, Sam Tafaru, Rena Hirano, Jess Innes, Emma Pinenberg, and the young substitute, Ree Morrison. And a convincing victory. More games to come over the weekend. Northern Rovers are already underway against Canterbury United. That game is of no consequence to the grand final picture now. Southern United against Eastern Suburbs tomorrow at midday at Logan Park in Dunedin. And Auckland United are playing Capital football at Keith Hay Park also tomorrow. Here's the updated league table and confirmation of Spring's place in the grand final. Today's victory lifts them up to 29 points. The most that Rovers can reach is 27. And Central Football confirmed last. Well, hope you enjoyed the game here at Seddon Field. Western Springs victorious by 9-0 over Central Football. That's all from me today. We'll see you again next time.
We've done a lot of work to make sure that our